Welcome to Action Hill Media, the science channel all about action. Life is boring. Get some more action into your life.
This week we are going to talk about tall white aliens. Who are the tall white aliens? What are they all about? There's been a few documentaries out there about Charles J. Hall, Area 51 Exposed and Walking with the Tall Whites, where he says he has actually encountered aliens from another planet on an Air Force base near Area 51. Charles J. Hall is an ex-Air Force officer who works as a weather technician at the Nellis Air Force Base. This base was actually an alien headquarters that was under a mountain where he interacted personally with tall white aliens. Charles also wrote the Millennial Hospitality series, a book about all these interactions he had with these tall white aliens. Charles was stationed at this base in the May of 1965. So these ETs, the tall white aliens, actually lived in Area 53 and Area 54, near Area 51, and it was named Dreamland. The housing area was Area 53, and Charles was allowed access to anywhere in these areas. Nothing he did was classified as per the wishes of the tall white aliens, which is why he's able to disclose all this information. Charles' duties on this base was to basically go out and fill weather balloons with helium and do tasks like starting up generators and weather technician type duties. It took Charles 6 months to get used to these aliens and not be terrified by them. The aliens were usually friendly and had their own unique personalities. About every 2 weeks, spacecraft would land and bring 2 to 3 to 20 new aliens to the base. Some facts Charles says about the tall white aliens: they lived to 700 years. They were humanoid with large eyes, typically blue, twice the size of aliens, so they had like huge eyes. Ears and noses were half the size of humans. They had no teeth. They were plant eaters. They didn't have body hair, but they did have platinum blonde hair. Their body structures were more frail than ours. They were tall, but they only weighed about 110 pounds, and they weren't really built for heavy lifting. The tall whites consisted of males, females, and children, and the men and women were hard to differentiate, especially young adults. Charles also claims that these aliens were about 5'10" to 6 feet tall, and as they grew older, they would spurt to 8 to 8.5 feet tall, but they would also become more fragile. Organs can't support their height. Their bodies don't heal quickly. It takes about 5 Earth years for them to heal a bone. Cuts and scratches took several weeks to heal. The tall whites were very intelligent, but they would usually focus in on like one task. They weren't good at multitasking. Some other things Charles said about the tall whites were that they were only willing to share technology that would benefit them. The tall whites weren't so big into sharing technology, but they would share like radio tech. They were not willing to share space travel tech. Their ships were capable of traveling at the speed of light. Their ships used subatomic particles to put out an anti-gravity field. Their ships were capable of going 8,000 miles an hour. Human personnel were able to access their scout crafts. Scout crafts were made of American parts that were more similar to like an RV trailer that is ellipsoidal. Inside were 5 seats without seat belts. Like an RV, they had a latrine, dining seats, and storage compartment. Tall whites had personnel such as military, medical engineers, similar to humans. They spoke English. The tall whites didn't like interacting with animals because they found them less intelligent and, I guess, useless, right? The adults were usually armed, but not the children. Their weapons resembled pencils with a cross section. It shot microwave lasers with different settings, tended to send out a tingling to an electrical shock. One weapon was used to hypnotize and cause memory loss. The iodine setting could affect the thyroid area and could cause death in 2 minutes. So there were no briefings or nothing was classified. The reason being the aliens had an agreement that he would not be classified so the humans couldn't study them. The tall whites didn't come here to benefit the humans. They were more into gaining their more knowledge for themselves. themselves. Interestingly, the tall white women were into fashion. Humans gave them clothes. They would look into catalogs like the Sears catalogs and acquire new clothing. So these are some very interesting points about these aliens and Charles's interactions with them. But if you really want to learn more, watch the documentaries, read his millennial hospitality books. It's all very interesting, and some people will say that's just testimony of one guy that could be BSing his way, but you never know.
Do you see what I see? And many humans base their version of reality, their emotions and so on that type of interaction. And when you see an alien scout craft intentionally blocking the road, making sure that I didn't go any further, and it was now necessary for me to turn my pickup truck around, and to do it I'm going to have to make like a 13-point turn, up and back, up and back.
There's aliens out there, and it's believable that they have bases here where we're interacting with certain species of aliens. Action Hounds Unite.